Egongalos, folks. My screen recorder crashed whenever I was going to look up the little stuff on the script. So I'm going to break it in two. Um, anyway, here, I'm in this book by Thomas Fuller, The Holy State. Right here, The Holy State. You can see, like I said, man, that um, these every row has a script. You see what I mean? And this book right here, I believe it's it's a I'll rather than say something that I'm not sure. If you're familiar with the Canterbury Tales and Chaucer, yeah, I think that's what this. That's the idea. You see, I used this before when I was explaining how they've taken your Godhead and put this shit up in your dome, your keystone, and they got a diamond in there for you. Now see this one here, and it goes with the language shit what I be talking about too, because you can really tell. See, they changed the damn front. Yeah, and the words are. I think I can. Well, I know. When I'm reading this one, I can read over it a lot faster. But I get more out of this version right here in the Old English. Before I get back to this page, though, here we go right here. Yeah. Before I get into this, though, now I'll be saying that it's all English, right? I've got a BA in English, so I've had linguistic courses. This right here, when I seen it, I said, "Whoa, really now?" The immediate gift of God. That would be language, right? Common language used in the plain of Shinar or in Chaldea before the dispersion at Babel is supposed to have been the original Chaldee, a cognate of the dialect of Hebrew. The following is a synoptical view of languages in order of derivation. Over here, every one of these is dead. Dead, dead, dead. Saxon and Danish words of Teutonic and goat. Yes, that's what that Gothic is. They're the goat. I'm sure of it. Because where do you think where do you think Gothamite? Where do you think I got that from? They're the goat. They just put that on there so you know what I mean. Trick your ass and you be like, oh, da da da. You better get with the program, dude. Yeah, better get with the program. Britain or Welsh, Cornish, and Armoric of Celtic origin. Norman, a mixture of French and Gothic or Gotish. Latin, a language formed on the Celtic, Teutonic, and Hebrew. French, chiefly Latin corrupted, but with a mixture of Celtic. Greek, formed on Celtic, Teutonic, and Hebrew with some Coptic. A few words directly from the Italian, Spanish, German, and other languages of the continent. A few foreign words introduced by commerce or by political and literary intercourse. Of these, the Saxon words constitute our mother tongue, being words which our ancestors brought with them from Asia. The Danish and Welsh also are primitive words and may be considered as a part of our vernacular language. They are of equal antiquity with the Chaldee and Syriac. That's from Webster. So when you come down here and you see that the language of the Americans here, they could understand it because basically right here, like right, I think it's right here, they just commonly end in their words in an A. So captain, captainana, it's just like the Spanish. So when I'm saying that that Latin is just a code, you see the I-O, that's I am. And this really doesn't say anything because there's no mid dots in it. You can see the mid dots here. In this, you see what I'm saying? You can see the mid dot, the interpunct, or whatever you want to call it. Now, you have the I-O. I thought. Where we at right here? Yeah, right here, Joan of Arc, or is it I-O? I don't know exactly how it's supposed to sound. And is this arc, or is this supposed to be ek? See what I'm saying? Because I mean, when you read this here, well, we'll just read this poem right here at the bottom because it tells the tale. We will close the different opinions which several authors have of her with this epitaph. Here lies Joan of Arc, the witch. Some count saint and some count witch. Some count man and something more. Some count maid and some a whore. Her life in question, wrong or right. Her death in doubt, by laws or might. O innocence, take heed of it, how thou too near to guilt dost sit. Meantime France a wonder saw, a woman rule 'gainst the legal law. But reader, be content to stay thy censure till the judgment day. Then shalt thou know, and not before, whether saint, witch, man, maid, or whore. Some conceive that the English conquest, being come to the vertical point, would have decayed of themselves, had this woman never been set up, which now reaps the honor there hereof as her action. Though thus a very child may seem to turn the waves of the sea with his breath, if casually blowing on them at their very instant when the tide is to turn of itself. Sure after her death the French went on victoriously, and won all from the English, partly by their valor, but more by their decisions. For then began the cruel wars betwixt the house of York and Lancaster, till the red rose might become white by losing so much blood, and the white rose red by shedding it. Now, he's going to tell you about the atheist, and he says that there's three types. Well, I mean, he says right here, Socrates, the pagan martyr, put to death. Right? In life and conversation, God is not all in his thoughts. Not that he thinks there is no God, but he thinks not that there is a God, never minding or heeding him in the whole course of his life and action. 2. In will and desire, such could wish there were no God or devil, as thieves would have no judge or jailer. 3. In judgment and opinion. Of the former two sorts of atheists, there are more in the world than are generally thought. Of this latter, more are thought to be than there are. A contemplative atheist being very rare, such as were Diagoras, Pythagoras, Lucian, and Theodorus, who, though carrying God in his name, was an atheist in his opinion. Come we to see by what degrees a man may climb up to this height of profaneness, and we will suppose him to be one living in wealth and prosperity, which more disposeth men to atheism or atheism than adversity. For affliction mindeth men of a deity, as those which are pinched will cry, O Lord. But much outward happiness occasioneth men, as Wapagor observeth, to deny God and say, Who is the Lord? First he quarrels at the diversities of religion in the world. He loveth to maintain paradoxes and to shut his eyes against the beams of a known truth. He scoffs and makes sport of sacred things. Never dog barked against the crucifix, but he ran mad. Hence he proceeds to take exception at God's word. Afterwards he grows so impotent as to deny the Scripture itself. Hence he proceeds to deny God himself. He furnishes himself with an armory of arguments to fight against his own conscience. At last, he himself is utterly overthrown by conquering his own conscience. His death commonly is most miserable. That atheism in England is more to be feared than popery. Wow. And then they go into this story about this Caesar Borgia. Oh man, I mean, what you see right here said he was a base son to Roderick Borgia, otherwise called Pope Alexander VI. This Alexander was the first of the popes who openly owned his bastards, and whereas his predecessors, counting fig leaves better than nothing to cover their nakedness, disguised them under the names of nephews and godsons. He was such a savage in his lust as nakedly to acknowledge his base children, and especially this Caesar Borgia, being like his father in the swarthiness of the complexion of his soul. His father first made him a cardinal, that thereby his shoulders might be enabled to bear as much church preferment as he could load upon him. But Borgia's active spirit disliked the profession, and was ashamed of the gospel, which had more cause to be ashamed of him. Wherefore he quickly got a dispensation to uncardinal himself. The next hindrance that troubled his high designs was that his elder brother, the Duke of Canada, stood betwixt him and preferment. It is reported also that these two brothers jested together in their incest with their own sister, Lucretia, one as famous for her whoredoms as her namesake had formerly been for her chastity. The throne and the bed cannot severally abide partners, much less both meeting together as here they did. Wherefore Caesar Borgia took order that his brother was killed one night as he rode alone in the city of Rome, and his body cast into the Tiber. And now he himself stood without competitor in his father's and sister's affection. His father was infinitely ambitious to advance him, as intending not only to create him a duke, but also to create a dukedom for him, which seemed very difficult, if not impossible, for he could neither lengthen the land nor lessen the sea in Italy, and petty princes therein were already crowded so thick there was not any room for any more. However, the Pope, by fomenting the discords betwixt the French and Spanish about the kingdom of Naples, and by embroiling all the Italian states in civil dissensions, out of their breeches picked forth a large principality for his son, managed in this manner. There is a fair and fruitful province in Italy called Romagna, parceled into several states, all holding as fiduciaries from the Pope, but by small pensions and those seldom paid. They were bound also not to serve in arms against the church, which old tie they little regarded, and less observed, as conceiving time had fretted it asunder. Soldars generally more weighing his gold than entertaineth them, than the cause or enemy against whom they fought. Pope Alexander set his son Borgia to reduce that country to the church's jurisdiction, but indeed to subject it to his own absolute hereditary dominion. This in short time he effected, partly by the assistance of the French king, whose pensioner he was, and partly by the effectual aid of the Ursinians, a potent family in Italy, and by a French title and duke. Okay. But afterwards the Ursinians, too late, were sensible of their error herein, and grew suspicious of his greatness. For they, in helping him to conquer so many petty states, gathered the several twigs, bound them into a rod, and put it into his hands to beat them therewith. Whereupon they began by degrees to withdraw their help, which Borgia perceived, and having by flattery and fair promises got the principal of their family into his hands, he put them all to the sword. For he was perfect in the devilish art of dealing all ill turn, doing it so suddenly his enemies should not hear of him before, and so soundly that he should never hear, that he should never hear of them afterwards, either striking always surely or not at all. Now notice that he says, for he was perfect in the devilish art. In other words, devil's an adjective. It's something that these motherfuckers, that you can attribute to these motherfuckers. It's them like they ain't no damn imaginary motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? It's a personality. It's a characteristic of a motherfucker personality. It's just a way of identifying what you're dealing with. It's not some fake shit. No, dude. Fake shit. It's the fake motherfucker. That's what it is. And now he thought to cast away his crutches and stand on his own legs, rendering himself absolute without being beholden to the French king or any other. Having wholly conquered Romania, he cast his eyes on Etruria, I'm not sure, and therein either won to submission or compliance most of the cities, and earnest of his future final conquest had not the unexpected death of his father, Pope Alexander, prevented him. This Alexander, with his son Caesar Borgia, intended to poison some rich cardinals, to which purpose a flagon of poisoned wine was prepared, but through an error of a servant not privy to the project, the Pope himself and Borgia, his son, drank thereof, which cost the former his life and the other a long languished sickness. This Caesar Borgia once bragged to Machiavelli that he had so cunningly contrived his plots as to warrant himself against all events. If his father should die first, he had made himself master of such a way that by the strength of his party in the city of Rome and conclave of cardinals he could choose what pope he pleased. So from him to get assurance of this province of Romania, to make it hereditary to himself, and which was improbable, and if nature should cross her hand so that he should die before his father, yet even then he had chalked out such a course as would ensure his conquest to his posterity, so that with this public dilemma he thought himself able to dispute against heaven itself. But what he afterwards complained of, he never expected that at the same time wherein his father should die, he himself should also lie desperately sick, disenabled to prosecute his designs, till one unexpected counterblast of fortune ruffled, yea, blew away all his projects so curiously plated. Thus 3 aces chance often not to rub, and politicians think themselves to have stopped every small cranny, when they have left a whole door open for divine providence to undo all which they have done. The cardinals proceed to the choice of a new pope, whilst Borgia lay sick abed, much bemoaning himself, for all others could not bestow one drop of pity upon him, had they the command of all April showers. Pius the Third was first chosen pope, answering his name, being a devout man, but the chair of pestilence choked him within 26 days, and in his room Julius was chosen, or rather his greatness chose himself, a sworn enemy to Caesar Borgia, who still lay under the physician's hands, and had no power to oppose the election, or to strengthen his new got dukedom of Romania. The state of his body was to be preferred before the body of his state, and he lay striving to keep life, not to make a pope. Yea, the operation of this poison made him vomit up the dukedom of Romania, which he had swallowed before, and whilst he lay sick, the states and cities therein recovered their own liberties formerly enjoyed. Indeed, this disease made Borgia lose all his nails, that he could never after scratch to do any mischief, and being banished Italy, he fled to Navarre, where he was obscurely killed in a tumultuous insurrection. He was a man master in the art of disassembling, never looking the same way he rode, extremely lustful, never sparring to tread hen and chickens. At the taking of Capua, where he assisted the French, he reserved 40 of the fairest ladies to be abused by his own wantonness, and the prodigality of his lust had long before his death made him bankrupt of all the moisture in his body, if his physician had not daily repaired the decays therein. What? He exactly knew the operations of all hot and cold poisons, which would surprise nature on a sudden, and which would weary it out with a long siege. He could contract 100 toads into one drop, and cunningly infuse the same into any pleasant liquor, as the Italians have poisoning at their finger ends. By a fig he took away the lives of many, a fig which restored Hezekiah's life. Okay, in a word, if he was not a practical atheist, I know not who was. If any desire to know more of this badness, let them read Machiavelli's Prince, where Borgia is brought in as an instance of all villainy, and though he deserves to be hissed out of Christendom, who will open his mouth in the defense of Machiavelli's precepts? Yet some have dared to defend his person, so that he in his book shows not what princes should be, but what then they were, intending that word not for a glass for future kings to dress themselves by, but only therein to present the monstrous face of the politicians of that age. Sure, he who is a devil in this book is a saint in all the rest, and those that knew witness him to be of honest life and manners, so that which hath sharpened the pens of many against him is his giving so many cleanly wipes to the foul noses of the Pope and Italian prelacy. This book goes on to tell you about all of them. It breaks down all the fucking scripts, every one. That, I mean, if you're not doing what you want to do, what makes you happy, if it ain't good, because I mean, I'm telling you, God is good. Period. Full stop. Every damn time. I'm just letting you know that. I mean, and if you're not out here, figuring that out, and then teaching other people how to fish, then you're playing one of these. You're playing one of their characters, man, because they got all the roles. They done figured them all out. They set them up for you. See what I mean? You're grabbing their labels. See what I'm saying? What you gonna do about it? I'm telling you. You can argue with me if you want to, but I'm telling you, I'm picking my own shit. See what I'm saying? Nobody tell me nothing about what it need to be or what it should be. No. I'm just reading this shit and I'm looking at it and I'm saying that this is what I've sat here for a few months just sitting on this shit. Just sitting on it. Because I don't know. I mean, I figure, who wants to hear me, man? Who's gonna listen to me? Who am I? I can't even get this shit done my damn self. Who am I to tell people that this is what needs to be going on? And then I kept looking, and it came to me. I found that piece about it takes 7 people to create a lodge, man. And when I'm looking at the page, when I'm reading it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm realizing that really, I mean, you gotta just rewind the clock 150 years. You see what I mean? Because if you think that they've had a whole bunch of peoples here, you're crazy, man. It wouldn't matter anyway. All you need is 7 people. You get 7 of your buddies around. I mean, you decide that, hey, we're gonna make a deal here. We're all gonna agree that we're not gonna tell about none of the dirty shit we're fixing to do. And then that's what they do. I mean, they can be good for the whole damn time, or whatever. I mean, but that's what it is. It's a lodge, man. And when I realized that, I mean, it's just a fucking secret deal. Well, I don't have no secret deal. See what I mean? I don't owe nobody nothing. Nobody came and told me shit. See what I mean? Not that I didn't have to discern and check and recheck and figure out for my damn self. Because that's the way it works. I mean, you can't just step off out here. If you ain't ever heard nothing about anything what I'm talking, you're not going to be ready just watching a video or two I put out, man. Because, I mean, I haven't even put out no templates yet or nothing. Well, I'm going to. I'm going to put out some more examples and stuff. Yes. The proofs. Yes, I'm finna do that here in just a minute. That's what I'm finna do. Because I ain't doing nothing else, man. And like I said, I didn't make no deal. I don't have no. When I realized that that's what the good book's telling you, man. Hang on just a minute. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Alright, here we go. I'm sorry, says Farmer Fairplay, to see our pastor lend his name and calling to support a blood-stained institution. Is it right that he should go into the secret chambers of imaginary and countenance which witness such wickedness and profane ceremonies? Ought a minister of the gospel to administer such oaths? What says the Bible? Swear not at all. Matthew, verse 34. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly, mine honor, be not thou united, for in their anger they slew a man. Okay, Genesis. Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. St. Paul. Cursed be he that smiteth his neighbor secretly. Cursed be he that taketh a reward to slay an innocent person. Deuteronomy. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. Psalm. We have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, not walking in craftiness. Corinthians. Hide me from the secret countenance of the wicked. Psalms. God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. If we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. Alright, John. I spake openly to the world, and in secret have I said nothing. Alright, then we have John. He hath He that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh he to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. What the hell you think they're talking about, man? They're talking about the fucking secret deal. They're talking about that shit, what they be doing behind the closed door. They're talking about that's selling your soul. That's what they're talking about. It's just that simple, man. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do that, man. It doesn't take that. The good book. When I realized that's what he's talking about. I mean, it's not some shit that's imaginary or something. No. And then it came real to me. I'm not supposed to be out here talking about some imaginary shit. I'm supposed to be telling these people about the good. That's what makes sense to me. I mean, it's obvious to me that nobody fucking knows what's going on. You think that the beast system needs you? Only the not like you think they do. I mean, I don't. You're a resource, man. We all are. That's what they did. I mean, they don't even fucking try to hide it. I mean, they're harvesting everything that you do. You know. Yeah. Yeah. And they give you the shit that they want you to have to fucking harvest the shit that they want to harvest. That's what's up with that damn whatchamacallit. That's all. I mean, trust me, they need you to run their experiments and do their little games and all that shit. Yes, they lie and it's just a game, man. And you gotta know that that's what it is. And you don't have to be a part of it. You don't. And you don't have to hide either. No. They want. That's what they want you to think. But you know as well as I do. When you shine a light on them cockroaches, they run. They scatter. We don't do that. We don't have to do that. We stand tall. All the time. Every damn time. It's not an issue about like having something to hide or whatever. I mean, a lot of times that's what they try to. I mean, no, dude, it's principles, you know. That's why a lot of people don't want to tell this or that or the other thing, you know. I don't blame anybody for not standing out there and putting it all out there, whatever. I mean, I get it. I mean, people got a lot. I mean, shit. What has anybody ever done for you to, you know what I mean? But like I said, I'm out here trying to figure it out. And when I realized that's what the good book means, man. It means when you start figuring out all this good stuff, you have to share it. And if you do, I mean, I'm knowing that's what it is. Because what we're doing right now, it's not working. I mean, what we've been doing, it hasn't been working, man. No, you can't. Nobody can convince me that. I see way too much comments that's like no. You know, everybody. Well, you can't have everybody put on a fucking mask and everything be okay. I mean, it's that simple. But like I've said before, and I'm gonna say it again, you cannot let them criminals get away with you. Because I'm telling you, if they got that mask on and they're trying to tell you some shit, they're lying to you, man. Or they're gonna. They're gonna do you harm. They will not. That person cannot be meaning anything good. Because that's just what it is, man. Just look around, pay attention to the shit when they come on there and they're wearing that mask. Listen to what they say if you can stomach it, and just let it go, man. Because you know. I mean, that the sooner that we do that, the sooner that shit will stop. Because the Civil Rights Act was written for purported shit like that right there. Shit that purports to be law that ain't. I mean, for real. I'm not gonna pull up every damn time I get ready to say something. At this point, I feel like, hey, if you can, look it up for yourself. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna track down every little fucking thing what I got on my mind. I don't have to do that. You see what I mean? But until motherfucker that showed you something, you might wanna, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I guess. I mean, I had the most fun just the videos I like doing the most, really, because I mean, I probably put like 50 videos out. Yeah, the ones I like doing the best is just going behind my man Mag and just fucking, hey, adding some more gloss to it, because a lot of the stuff, I mean, he brings a take that's just I mean, straight. You don't have to. I mean, we can all do it. Everybody can do it. Now, because I spent the last 2 years in the books trying to figure out what the hell is going on with this, the whole system, how it works, how they doing it, how you supposed to do it. What is the government? What do they mean? What does all this shit really mean? And hone in on who's doing what and how they doing it. I can add to it. I can add to a lot of this shit. He'd be busting on it, but he can't. You gotta fucking. We gotta identify the enemy. See what I mean? That's what's got to happen here. You everybody can't just be government, because they ain't. You see what I mean? And we're gonna have to hone in on who's doing what. See what I mean? That's where we're heading. That's where we're going. That's where I'm going. Because it's changed. Shit ain't gonna. It can't be like this. I'm telling you now. It can't be like this. No way. But I mean, it'd be one thing if I was sitting up here like, look what happened to me. Me. I'm fuck, dude. I'm showing you how to get your own. See what I mean? Not enough for everybody. Got a chicken for every pot, and a vehicle for every garage. You better believe it. So yeah, I'm probably gonna come on and clean up on my guy. Yeah, and I did a damn. I did a little piece earlier, man. I wasn't gonna do it, but I had to do it. I'm gonna publish it when I publish this one. But yeah, I guess that's enough for this one here, I reckon. Until next time, I'm out.